Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to the Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary texts and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. Now, this is for the 25th Sunday after Pentecost, which is November 15th. I just want to make sure I'm on the right date. November 15th. We are on the right date. Good. And we're looking at, this is for the Revised Common Lectionary, and we're looking at the Gospel lesson Mark, where all these texts have to do with kind of end-time stuff. And, yay, end-time stuff for a children's sermon. Woohoo! Yeah, right. So, the item I'm using, and kind of tying this into, tying it into the texts, but maybe working around the text, because sometimes trying to figure out how to make it go from directly to from the text to the children's sermon, there's a disconnect. So the idea is I'm talking about God's promise and about how God's promise is permanent and secure. That God's promise is for us, and God's promise is good and dependable and trustworthy, and God's promise is permanent. So with that, permanent is where I'm going with. And so the item I am using is a permanent marker from the Dollar Tree. Now, you could use a Sharpie if you wanted to, because then if you have a lot of us have the Sharpies around. What I like, now Sharpie's still got, it has it here, permanent. What I like about this one here is permanent is pretty big. And granted, there will be kids that can't read, and so the idea is talking about what permanent means. Permanent. And the idea that you write on it, you write on something, and it's going to stay. So like, I'm going to talk about how when I was a kid, I had a permanent marker that I wrote on my clothes with, and my mom wasn't too happy with it because she knew this was permanent. This was going to stay. There's nothing she could do to get that out. It was there. It was clean. It was not clean. It was there was no way to clean it. So that's where I'm going with this, is to talk about how God's promise is permanent. Like this, even more so than this, God's promise is for us. It's good, and there's nothing we can do to get rid of it. God's promise is permanent. And so that's where I'm going with this idea that we don't have to worry, because God's promise is for us. There we go. So springboard for your own thinking. I hope you could use this. And like always, thanks for stopping by. And I hope you have a blessed week.